So, welcome to this lecture of machine learning training program, and in this particular lecture we are going to talk about more about data frames. Okay, we are going to practice some more about data frames, and we'll be also working some of the operations and missing data and everything. So let's start with it. So let's first of all, what we're going to do is we are going to grab the data from the data frame based on certain location. Remember, we did some of the grabbing before in the data frame lectures by rows and by columns, but now we are going to grab it based on certain conditions. Okay, so let's start with it. Let me type here grabbing the data from data frame based on certain locations. Okay, based on certain locations. So let's first of all import our libraries, import numpy as np, import pandas as pd, and now let's run from numpy dot random import rand int. Okay, from numpy dot random import rand int. We are going to make some dummy data set that we did before. Okay, since my notebook has been refreshed, that is why the previous cells have not run, so that is why I'm typing these code again. Okay, so let's have random.seed. Okay, random.seed, and make sure you have the seed same as me, and I'll say data is equal to rand int, and I'll have -100 200, and we'll be having 5,4. Okay, so this is our data that we have, and now let's see how our data looks like. So this is how our data looks like actually. Okay, now as we did before, let's have a set of columns. We have w comma x comma y comma z. Okay, and then we'll have some index which is equal to a comma b comma c and comma d comma e. Okay, so we have 4 columns and 5 rows basically. So let's create a data frame. We did before before also pd dot data frame, and we'll have a data frame, and we'll have a data here, index here, and columns here. Okay, data, index, and columns. We'll passing the data, index, and column. Remember the documentation of data frame that you have to pass 3 things: data, index, and column. Okay, so let's run this code. Our data frame will be prepared like this. Okay, a nicely prepared data frame. Okay, so it is running. Why it is taking some time? Let it take its own time. So it has run. This is how our data frame looks like, just like before. Okay, now let's put a condition. Okay, let's put a condition. What condition, baby? That grab the subset. Okay, grab the subset of data frame where we have only positive values. Okay, positive values. Okay, so let's run this code. We are going to grab the subset of this data frame where we have only positive values. That means my negative values are going to be neglected. Okay, so I'll say df greater than 0 simply. So it will present you a boolean data frame. From wherever this condition is true, it is going to present true there, and wherever the condition is false, it is going to present you false there. Okay, so basically when you do this, it is going to present you this boolean output. And if you want the exact data frame, so let's put that into like this: df of df greater than 0, and this is how it is going to filter those elements of the positive values. I'll write here filter. Okay, so basically, as you can see in the data frame, that wherever the positive values are there, it is presenting you the values, and wherever the negative values are there, it is presenting you NaN. That means not a number. Okay, so basically, we are going to deal with the missing values, just like later on. We'll be missing that in the some of the few lectures. So just wanted to tell you that when you implement like this, and you have a data frame, and you can even put a condition inside this square brackets, and it is going to present you the output wherever the conditions are true, and wherever the conditions are false, it is going to present NaN, that means not a number there. Okay, so let's move forward. So basically column, as we all know, that column represents features. Okay, these columns represents features. So let's filter the data frame based on features. Right now we were doing it based on condition. You can type less than 2, greater than, equal to, not equal to, whatever the condition you want to put, you can easily put it there. Okay, but now let's try to filter it based on features. So filter based on features. Okay, filter based on features. So let's see the data frame again, how the data frames actually look like for us. So this is how our data frame looks like, and let's have a feature. Okay, when I say feature, I am representing column name. Okay, remember that I'm representing column name. So df of x, let's say, and I'll say greater than 0. Let's see how the output looks like. So it is presenting you a series there. Wherever this condition is true for A, B, C, D, E, it is presenting you a series. Like for x, A is positive, B is negative. So for B it is presenting you a false, C is positive, true, D is negative, false, and E is positive, true. Okay, so that is how you're going to do it. And after that, if you want the real output, what you can do, you have, again, this is how you can do it. Filter out the elements, df of the column name greater than 0. So now it is presenting you the whole data frame like this. Okay, it is presenting you the whole data frame. Okay, so I must tell you one thing, that we will do this a lot. In projects. So make sure you understand this, that whenever you are presenting this output, as you can see, it is neglecting that B and D row, and it is just presenting you ACE. Okay, it is just presenting you ACE. Okay, so that is how you're going to implement the filtration based on the features or column. Okay, so we can also do this also. Let's copy this one and I'll paste it in here. We can also grab a particular feature again. Okay, we have put a condition like this, and then I want only one row of it, so I'm going to one column of it, I'm going to present you an output. And now based on this condition, W is being presented here, which is 230. Okay, we can also say Y here. Okay, or we can also give multiple columns as you want, and it is giving you the Y here. Okay, in the same way, if you copy this code and I paste it in here, and if I want to grab based on location, so what do we do if you want to grab not location, based on row? If I want to grab the row, based on row, what will we do that? We used ILOC, remember? We use ILOC, sorry, and we're going to present the index value here, and it is going to present you the output of the row basically. So as you can see, I have presented 0, that means A row. So 279 minus 8 minus 86 is presented here. Okay, if you're getting confused, let me tell you again that when you are filtering based on features, so this is a feature. I mean, whenever I say feature, that means it's column. So we have df of x greater than 0, so that means df of column name greater than 0. So wherever the values of x are going to be positive based on this condition, positive greater than 0, that means positive, there it will present you true, and otherwise it is going to present you false. Okay, and if you want the values from the data frame, you can simply put the whole condition inside filtration in this bracket. Okay, in this bracket, you can just simply put that here, and it is going to present you the output of the whole data frame based on this particular condition. Okay, and if you want to grab some specific column based on some specific condition, and you have this specific condition, and I want to grab only this column of my data frame, then you can put like this. It is going to present you a series. In the same way, we have we can also grab rows. Okay, we can also grab rows based on series. So we have ILOC for that. Okay, so it's quite easy. It's not that difficult for now, and we are going to use these kind of notations quite a lot in our projects. Okay, so I just want to tell you that just keep in mind that it's really common to see pandas operation stacked on top of each other. Okay, like we can simply put two conditions also here, like putting an and putting two conditions, or grabbing multiple rows. We can put a lot of conditions, lot of things we can do it on a single straight line. Okay, so now let's select with a multiple. Let's have some multiple condition. Okay, let's do it with multiple condition. Now let's perform with multiple condition. Okay, so prepare for this because it is quite confusing. It's not at all difficult, but sometimes it gets confusing. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to first of all put a condition, whatever condition you want to have. Let's say I want to have df of w greater than 0. I want all the positive value of from the row w. This is the one condition I want. And second condition I want is the that all the values from y should be greater than 1. Whatever the value of y which is greater than 1, I want these two conditions to be true. Okay, now based on these condition you can put and or, but whenever you are putting and or, make sure you put the bitwise operator, not a and d, put a bitwise operator. So now I'll put a bitwise operator here. And means that it is going to present you the output for both of these conditions when both of these conditions are going to be true. Okay, so whenever you're putting this, make sure you put them into a brackets. Okay, like we do in the 8th class mathematics. Just make sure you put them into a brackets so that these two conditions can become different. Just a second, wait for a moment. Yeah, so now we have this, and now what we'll do, we want the filtration based of data frame, right? So whenever we want to do filtration, what we do, we put the condition inside this. Remember, just a second, we put the condition inside this bracket. Okay, so just pick this condition that you have just presented, paste it in here, and now run the code. Okay, and it is okay. Just a second, I haven't put inside a square bracket, so maybe I have to put a square bracket here, that is why. So let's run this code, and now it is going to present you the output based on these two conditions. And how beautiful is that? Okay, we have just put two conditions. Okay, and we have put an and operator, and we are filtering the data frame based on two conditions. Okay, that is what I love about the data frames. I love about it's when you break down these simple steps, it becomes much more easier. Okay, so you can do it for a lot of time. You can do it for anything that you want. You can even change the values and everything. Okay, it's quite easy to do that. Okay, so now in the next lecture we're going to talk about how to reset index and maybe more things about pandas, because it's important. Studying about pandas is really important. Okay, everything is dependent upon pandas. So let's meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next lecture.